All right, so we're gonna prove that the Israelites. All right, this is part two. So we're gonna prove that the Israelites were the so-called white people, as Garfield lied about. All right, all right, saying they Caucasian people, that the people in the land of the fraudulent state of Israel was uh, the Edomites and the Atlanta Amalekites, so-called white people. All right, was already there. It was bullshit, man. All right, now some of our people, a little small amount of people, some of the original Israelites, they stayed behind, but majority of us, we kicked out of land during the Syrian captivity. All right, we came over here to the Americas. All right, after our Syrian captivity, read that in Second Ezra 13:39 to 48. That's why you find Hebrew tablets all over the Americas. That's why you find look among so-called Native American tribe of Gad. You find Israelite customs. All right, and they fit the curses, man. The same thing happened to the so-called Negroes from Spain, Portugal, West Africa. Same thing happened to the so-called Native Americans, man. They was enslaved, shipped all over the place, man. All right, they're in a low state like we are, man. All right, so it's right here. It says Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. All right, let me go right here. I'm gonna start a little bit more. It says Exodus 2, verse 13. It says, just talking about Moses, and he went out. And they like to say, well, we don't go by the Bible and read, but when you talk about the Israelites, what the Israelites come? What is the story of the Israelites came out of the Bible, man. Came out of the Hebrew Torahs that were translated into English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and so on, man. All right, even the New Testament was originally in Hebrew. Most people, you don't know that. All right, but it was translated to Koine Greek. Why? Because you had a lot of Israelites. They lost their Hebrew language, man, because their ancestors was following Greco-Roman customs. All right, so this right here says Exodus chapter 2, verse 13. It said just talk about Moses. All right, my shop is draw out. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And damn, that's not it. All right, let me get this. All right, it says, I'm going to start right 16, Salak. Exodus chapter 2, verse 16. It says, now the priest of Midian has 7 daughters, and they came to water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. All right, and the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reu, their father, he said, how is that ye are come so soon today? And they say, an Egyptian deliver us out of the hand of the shepherds, also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. All right. And you can see Moses was mistaken for the Egyptian. All right. This is the book, Sex and Race, Negro, Caucasian, mixing all ages, all the lands. The old world dealt with like eastern part of the world, man. All right. Let me show you some Egyptian. Alright, this what the Egyptian thing is. Alright. You see right here, Egyptians, so-called black people, man. Alright. The real sons of Cum. Alright, Cum means hot. Alright. Sons of Ham. Ham was a water word version, say, alright. See, bro, got, what's that? See how she got her hair? Look like butters, man. But anyway, man, alright, you can see all the Egyptians were so-called black people, man. Alright, so, alright, let's go to, let's see. Go to Genesis. Matter of fact, right here, Genesis 50:11. All 12 tribes of Israel were mistaken for Egyptians by the Canaanites, and the Canaanites were the Hamitic people. All right, Hamites. All right. Alright, this is Garfield talking about, I want you to try to debunk that. It said, when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the morning, right? They was crying because Jacob died. In the morning, in the floor of the attack, they said, this is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians, wherefore the name of it was called Abba Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. Alright, so this is like they burying Jacob. You go Genesis 50 verse 8. It said, all the house of Job, his brethren, and his father's house, only their little ones, their flocks, their heads, they left in the land of Goshen. Alright, so let you know this, the Israelites. Alright. Alright, so this is a branch. So the Canaanites mistaken the Israelites for the Egyptians, man. Because they had the Egyptians clothes. You know. Alright, so I'm gonna get right here. Ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Alright, it says Ham. Alright, this is page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Alright, so-called Negroes in America, the West Indies. Alright, we're not Africans, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, Libyans, and the Canaanites. Alright, so there you go, man. Okay, let's look up another thing in here, man. What's up? Let's look up Ruddy. Alright. See, you can't go against biblical scholars, man. You know, we didn't write these books, man. You know, there you go right here. It says, ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion, in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. Alright. Now Ruddy and David David wasn't a light-skinned man, he was healthy, man. Alright, he's a healthy young man. Alright. But ruddy and complexion wise, like looks like a brownish, like a reddish brownish color. Alright, you seen the soil out there. Alright, alright, that's the best I could describe it, man. Alright. Alright, now what else Garfield said? Let's look up the Kadar. Cause he said the Arabs was so-called white people, which is not true. Alright. It says what? Kadar. Also, you look at Kadar in Jeremiah 14:1. I mean, dark skinned. Alright. Kadar, either mighty or dark. One of the 12 sons of Ishmael, son of Abraham, by Hagar. Alright. Alright, so there you go, man. The scripture leader, right? So the Arabs wasn't a so-called white people, man. Alright. Even in this book, man, they have Arab Ishmaelite peasants. Alright. So old book, man. Let me find them. There you go, right here. Alright. Ishmael. Alright. Ishmaelites. It says right here what Arab peasants still wear clothing very similar to the one in the Bible. Alright. There you go, man. Alright, so you know Garfield's a liar, man. You guys lie too much, man. Alright. Drop my book. But anyway, it's all good, man. Alright. Alright. So there you go right here, man. It says we'll skip down here on chapter 9 on page 91. We'll go down here. It said, mention was made of biblical theory that the Negroes became black. Alright, so you know, Garfield is a liar, man. You guys lie too much, man. Alright. So there you go right here, man. It says mention was made of biblical theory that the Negroes became black. because of Noah, supposedly white, cursed the son of Ham. But the earliest Jews were probability Negro. They was dark skinned. Abraham, their ancestors, said had come from Chaldea. The ancient Chaldeans were black, right? The Chaldeans say Hagar was originally Negroes, as was said too. Relics, all right, of prehistoric Negro have been discovered in this region. It is even possible that the Jews originated not in Asia but in Africa, all right. That whole region, with the Canaan, that's called Kem, all right, Kem, all right. All right, that whole area, man, called Kem, all right, in Canaan, all right, and a little bit further, all right. That's why our ancestors, Shem, Ephraim, I forgot stop for pronouncing that. Damn, I forgot something like that. But you all know what I'm talking about. All right, but they reach a little further east. Now I'm not saying. I'm saying they wasn't dark skinned. No. All right, I'm just saying we're two different people. All right, we're Shem. All right, the African Hamites. That's all I'm just saying, man. All right, we didn't, originate no Africa, man. All right, but anyway, it says Gerald Massey had advanced considerable argument proof of theory. Whatever was the original color of the Jews, they lived more 4th century among the Negroid Egyptians, right? What was Moses taken for Egyptian? They supposed oppressor the Pharaoh Merneptah showed marked Negro traits. All right, and now I'm not sure that who the Pharaoh was. I remember the brother priest and lawyer, he broke down who the Pharaoh was, so my memory not quite clear. It said only 70 Jews went to Egypt, but according to the Bible, 6,000 men left. Must have been the additional 2 millennial women and children since the Jews slaves. Since the Jew was slave, their women was undoubtedly concubines of the Egyptians. Must have to do with offspring. It could have, it happened. Same thing happened. When we got here in America, he saw so-called white men were raping our women, but guess what? Israelite father, so-called Negro or so-called Native American man, he will pop that Edomitis, that female Edomite tail, and they had an Israelite baby, man. All right. And also, you had Jay-Z was popping Egyptian women, man. No, I wouldn't put past our forefathers were popping Egyptian women. Guess what? Those kids were still Israelites. All right, but it said after more than a century of slavery, almost trace of the first 70 Jews must have been lost together with their culture. The Jewish culture was Egyptian culture. Egyptians did not eat pork and still do not eat it. All right, but our culture came from just been not eating pork, man, before we got to Egypt. All right, so all right. So let me see. I'm trying to get something in. I seen something in here. All right. Let me see. This is what I wanted. You can see right here the Syrian woman. You know, right here, she's a black woman. Garfield. Stop lying, man. It said a Negro bus of 1500 BC from Egypt. Gurner think it was a Jew. All right. So hit two birds with one stone, man. To the Syrians, the Israelites were so-called white people, man. All right. Now this is right here. It said Dr. Hans Godard in his Racindekunde de Judicis Vocus. I forgive me because I don't speak German. Let me get this focus. I'm trying to get this camera focused just in case we can't get this clear. Damn. God damn it. Salat. I hope you all could see this. Damn. I'm trying to get this camera to focus. Let me just try something. I hope you all could see this. But anyway, I'm going to read it. It said his work illustrating the portraits of Negro Jews of Europe and elsewhere. It said, as was already, he said he compares a portrait of Abraham Plaget a Holnet with that of being Disraeli Jewish Prime Minister of England. The resemblance is striking. Right, Gutter said it said did this to depreciate the Jew, but since do we not concede the Negro ancestry? It is a disgrace. We cannot. All right, there go focus. It said we cannot consider that the alleged aim has been achieved. All right, Count Adam Gorwowski of Poland, who visited the United States in 1857, says similarly numbers of Jews have the greatest resemblance to the American mulattoes. Sallow carnation complexion, thick lips, crisp black hair of all the Jewish population scattered over the globe. 1/4 dwells in Poland. I am therefore well acquainted with their features. On my arrival in this country, the United States, I took every light-skinned color mulatto for a Jew. All right, so this proves that, and this proves that the Israelites, one of the so-called white people, as Garfield like to claim. It says right here, look at this: measurements of the skulls of Polish Jews in Whitechapel, London, revealed about 30% of them were Negroid. The Negro stain is apparent among a considerable number of American Jews. Some Jewish women go to the Negro hairdressing parlors to have their hair straightened. The island of Jamaica has a considerable number of mulatto Jews also. All right, now some of the women among the Amalekites, the fake Jews, some of our people are among them, man. But the rest of them got that kinky hair, man. All right, the rest of them got that kinky hair. They not Jews, they Edomites, but some of the you know, they some of them had mixed among our people, but some did. But my focus is Israelites, those whose paternal roots go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, but to show you, man, that the Jews were a dark-skinned people, so-called black people, man. All right, and Poland, people came to Poland, they mixed with the Edomites, man. But guess what? You are what your father is. All right, these are Israelites. All right, so there you go, man. All right, let me get this right here. I've got this 100 million facts about the Negro. All right, this is about Elam. All right, Iran. Elam, a mighty Negro civilization of Persia, flourished about 2900 BC. Is perhaps older than Egypt or Ethiopia. One of his later Negro kings, Kador Nakuta, conquered Chaldea, Babylon, brought back to his capital Susa rich treasure, among which were famous statues of the goddess Nana. All right, and people say El Nana, that's where they come from. Later became the capital of Cyrus the Great, and Darius, Susa, the Shusha, the buyer, where East Esther, the Jewish, sought the favor of the king. Oh damn, I forgot. That's a lot of mispronounced. Harris of Persia and Ethiopia, man. All right. So, there you go, man. All right. All right. So, people that land, man, Middle East, so-called black people, man, dark-skinned people. All right. You see right here, it says what? It said the Mohammedans, Muslims, believe that Moses was a black man. The Quran say so. God told Moses to put his hand into his bosom. All right, this in the scriptures too. And the Quran says it came out white. All right, meaning pale, man. All right. So there you go, man. All right. So, they right here. I'm gonna read this right here. It says Tatius, the Roman historian of 9 AD, said the Romans his day probably believed that the Jews, all right, was Israelites from the southern King Judah, which then abounded in Europe, came from Ethiopia, the land of blacks. The present white color European American Jew is very likely due to the same color, fair skin, straight hair, a large numbers of Negro. The Bible classes the Ethiopian and the Jew together are united as the children of Ethiopia unto me, all children of Israel, said the Lord. Chaldea is a land of Jews originally, also a Negro land, hence Abraham might also have been black. All right, he was black, so-called black man, dark-skinned man. All right, so they right here, look right here. The Negro Jews in India are not permitted to enter into the same synagogue as the white ones, nor to bury the dead in the same cemetery. All right, they so-called white Jews, and they not original Israelites anyway, man. They heathens, man. All right. So this is it, man. And damn, one more thing I gotta get, man. Cause you got the assholes. Excuse my French. But you got the bug outs, man, who like to say that Paul was Egyptian, was so-called white man. It's not true, man. Yeah, so this one of many proofs that the Bible is not a so-called white man's book. If the Bible was a so-called white man's book, why would you put the people in there dark-skinned? Usually when Esau mixed something, he'll whiten up, he'll write the characters so-called white people, man. All right. All right, so this is Acts 21:38. All Esau did was talk plantation Christianity to make you think all the people in this book was so-called Caucasian. All right, it goes to Acts 21 verse 37. As Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? It's right here. Talk to the chief captain. Art not thou that Egyptian which before thee days made an uproar and let us out in the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? But Paul said, I am a man, which I am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen by no means. I beseech thee, suffer me to speak. All right. And when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned the hand unto the people. And when there was a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue. All right. So, Paul was mistaken for Egyptian by a Edomite. All right. A Edomite. Okay. All right. So, about a Roman official was mistaken as Egyptian. With Egyptian, dark-skinned people of Hamite descent. What was Paul, an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, of Shemitic descent. All right, so the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans the Israelites of the Bible, man. All right, point blank, period. There's no getting away around it, man. All right, so this is it, and shalom.